morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up. You better wake up from this dream.
First guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
You better unplug or be a casualty. Cause the life that we lose in the drug and then boozing is keeping us off from our greatness.
Hey.
Gotta spread the love and stop hating. Then rearrange these front pages. From murder.
I needed some wake up this morning.
Hey, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Until there's nothing left. And teaching my people to love themselves. I'm crashing on competition. That's an interference with the commission. Man, we tired of listening, so we stand it up. Unification amongst us. Wake
Hey.
up, wake 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 up.
Shout out Sherman Wells. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thanks for joining us for a fresh edition of First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul Beee. He's buddy to Gawd. I'm still asleep. I think he's awake though.
He tired. I'm tired. I'm just energetic right now, but I might need a nap after this.
Oh, that's turned into the stable, man.
Oh yeah.
Siestas on game day. So that's what's up. Good morning, good morning. Appreciate you guys coming in early this morning. Kimmer's up early. Good morning to you. Appreciate you. You still out on the West Coast? What you got going on? Yeah, up early. Also, Judy Prinzer gives us a good morning, fam. Appreciate you. Also, RG gives us a morning, y'all.
Man,
Hey, y'all are up this morning. Pops
Coming
says good
through.
Monday morning. Mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. Leia Keister says happy marvelous Monday in the chat. Thank you. Michelle Moreno says good morning. And Marlon Harrison says good morning, First Sky fam, and happy motivational Monday. I love it.
Man, motivation.
That's right, man. Welcome to the beginning of the week, which we always like to get with you guys on, kind of set the tone, figure out what we're gonna be looking at and doing this week.
It is
happening. Yeah, lots coming up, and lots passed. This was kind of a weekend of escape. That's kind of what I'm calling it. We got a chance to put down some of the things and celebrate some things. So shout out to the champ, of course.
Man, the champ is here.
Terrence Bud Crawford. I know that's front row news as far as we're concerned on this side of town in the big way.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
worldwide. Crawford Boomaye.
Crawford Boombaye, undisputed 3 times. He made history. This is the first time this ever has happened where somebody is undisputed. If you don't know what undisputed is, that means he did not ever lose a fight in 3 categories.
Whipping feet.
You get the title undisputed, the undisputed champ.
B2A.
So yeah, let us know if you watched the fight. Let us know if you was out there partying on the Deuce.
Hey.
They basically recreated Vegas on the Deuce. They was out there saying it's like Vegas out here without the lights. Hey,
I don't know.
Is in Vegas, right? He said 5 a.m. in Vegas, Grand Rising. What's up, man?
Peace.
You was out there. Did you out there see the fight and it was hanging out? What's going on with you?
Out there with the crew.
Heather Williams gives us a good morning, everyone. Also, Kimber says shout out to my fellow Brian Bear, September Libra, and Omaha, and Terrence Bud Crawford. He put some titles on him. He got more titles now.
Man, but I went to Brian. I know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That's what's up. RG says I got a controversial take on that. Ooh, can't wait to hear about that. Okay.
Okay, hot take.
Shad McCarthy says morning, everyone. Appreciate you coming on through. RG says prime Crawford, prime Mayweather. Okay. A lot of people been talking about that.
Greater than.
A lot of people been talking about that. Okay. Brother Jahi says Buzz shut down all the Mexicans in the crowd during the fight. It was beautiful. It got real quiet there. I saw a funny post that if you're Mexican in Omaha right now, you're kind of looking like what's gonna happen.
Like,
they love vanilla, but they also love Bud if they're in Omaha. So I hate to be in their shoes on that one. It's interesting how much the nationalism comes up when it comes to these things, though. But for the most part, it's good to feel proud. It's good to feel proud. The black man is the champ, especially one from Omaha, Nebraska, in a real way. Also, Kimber says I was on the drive. I got back from LA Saturday night. Okay. He sure did, and his nephew Trey, the Hooper, graduated from Bryan with my son. Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Trey.
I don't know much about Bryan. I'm not from here, so I didn't go to school here. So
yeah. Some hoopers. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. Well, once again, thanks for joining us. I want to hear what you did over the weekend for sure. How you felt about what all the events that went down. It's actually a lot of stuff that happened over the weekend. I'm kind of calling it the weekend of escape. Last week we were talking a lot about what was going on in politics. This Kirk individual getting shot, all the backlash, all the things that's been happening there, things that's going on in our country. Last time we talked, the HBCUs was on high alert and getting locked down because they felt there was going to be some attacks and so on. Not to mention more people dying overseas, more people dying in Gaza. There's just stuff going on in the world that's crazy, and a lot of people think that you got to have this stuff on your mind and be fighting all the time, but that's not really sustainable. For as far as I'm concerned, you can't just be in the fight all the time. You need a break, and I feel like this weekend was that, especially for Omaha, and especially for North Omahans. I feel like it was a break. It was like Native Omaha days out there on the Deuce this weekend because people were excited, partying about Bud Crawford's win, and there were a lot of people in Vegas partying, a lot of Omaha representing in Vegas in a big way, and also on the Deuce afterwards. And just as interesting to me, the level at which people were having a good time partying, and there was no incidents, and that was the thing that people had to say. Like, we didn't have no incidents, and there was no police presence, and we were just out
Mm-hmm.
here having a good time, and it was good. And we was out here till 4 in the morning. Precious McKesson was out till 4 in the morning.
Man,
You know what I'm saying? So they was really partying out there,
real
having a good
kickback.
time.
Real kickback.
Real kickback. They said it felt like a Native Omaha day out there. So you can have that kind of stuff happen and have that stuff go on. And I just think about like other cities where their team won and they go out and just wreck the joint, flip cars and set fire
Oh
to
yeah.
stuff and go nuts, right? And we out here like, y'all can't leave your trash. We I'm like, you know what? Black people need some slack too. We should go out there and set some things on fire and flip
No.
some cars if we excited and happy. Why can't we? You know what I'm saying? But with us, it's got to be, well, we just make sure that we pick our trash up when we're done partying and all that. I mean, no shade to that, but I'm just saying when I compare it to other
hmm
places, other cities, other people who are happy their team won, no comparison. As a matter of fact, shout out to Precious McKesson because she first of all was one of the ones that put the call out like, let's go party on the Deuce, let's go have a good time, and when we do, let's keep it clean, keep it classy, she kept saying.
hmm
And they did. They was out there having a good time, man. And then she went home at 4 in the morning and got up at 7 in the morning and came back picking up trash. So this is dedicated to Precious McKesson. Shout out to Precious
Hey.
for holding it down, holding the Deuce down, holding the city down. It really impressed upon me the Deuce. Even though we talk about black culture and black folks spread out all over Omaha, not just in North Side anymore, and how the North Side is pretty much other races besides black. It's not the black side of town completely anymore, but the Deuce is black Omaha, point blank. Period. Wherever you're at, if you party and if you're gonna come down to party, you coming from whatever part of the city you live in, you're gonna come down to the Deuce because that's our place. That's our
Man.
spot.
Spaces and places.
Spaces and places. So we'll talk about a little bit of those things coming up. Appreciate everybody coming in. Like I said, I really want to hear what you guys think about the fight. Ariel's 402 is in the chat saying Crawford reminds me of Junebug. Oh, I'm
Mm.
gonna get you, sucker. OG over gold. OG over gold. Okay. Marlon Harrison said North won, Nebraska won, and Bud won. My weekend was great.
Hey.
Hey.
V's up. V's up. Let's go.
I love it. I love it. Kimber says I bring that up because Brian gets zero love out here. Like, I don't never hear nothing about Brian.
Yes, it's kind of forgotten. It's the forgotten South Omaha school. Everybody think of, South, but Brian doesn't get much love.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Kimber says from a school board perspective, my concerns are that students are subject to Sarpy County authority.
Mm.
Interesting.
Mm.
RG says, and I think a real peculiar that Floyd decided to retire when Bud moved up in the weight class. Hot take. Hot take. RG said, just say you didn't want to smoke with just say you don't want to smoke, money, man. That's funny. He says to watch Bud fight live really is a treat. He shows how great he is.
Man.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, man. I was real. The level of sportsmanship as well, man.
Yeah.
Just I can't tell you for me how much it just enhanced what happened. It just enhanced the fight. It enhanced the whole interaction. It was just a beautiful thing to see as far as I'm concerned. I really love the fact that Canelo came back and he was just like, hey, I did my best. I fought. I did my best, and and he was just a better fighter.
Man.
And yeah, there's a picture I was trying to upload. I can't find it now, but there was a picture that we put on Friends of First Sky of Bud Crawford kind of high fiving Canelo's daughter, and you can see Canelo just glowing. His face, he was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
the champ just shook my daughter's hand and she's happy. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just a beautiful thing to see, man. Like two people that was really respectful to each other, and still, Bud won, and that, just all the way around, it was a good thing.
Man, not just Bud, we all won, man. It's a lot to unpack for
Like
me.
that.
Yeah, like being here, I want to save it for a little later on in the show, but being in Atlanta and watching the fight and having, a network that spans the country and people texting me like Omaha, 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 like yeah, I got
Yeah,
some thoughts
Omaha.
and yeah, exactly. I got some thoughts and some feelings about that. But long story short, I take Omaha with me everywhere I go. Take
Good.
Omaha with me everywhere I go, both literally and figuratively. So yeah, gonna wear that proudly. Actually, gonna put on my Nebraska jacket today. Yeah, we cornhuskered out today.
Yeah, yeah, I feel that. That's what's up, man. We'll talk a little bit about that. First, we'll jump into a few community updates while we're at it. It's a Monday, it's a news day, but it's kind of a loose day for us a little bit because of this theme, this kind of feeling of there's some things in the news, of course, north side people need to really kind of talk about here, but also it was kind of a weekend of escape. I feel like even with the Emmys, I'm really happy with some of the wins at the Emmys. Emmy Awards. I don't know who watched that. Let us know if you guys watched the Emmy Awards. Also, it was a New York Fashion Week, which was heavy.
Man,
And I got to tell you about this company. It was my favorite clothing company of all time right now. It's called Actively Black, and the show that they put on at New York Fashion Week,
blackity black.
incredible, incredible. We'll talk about that. But before we get into that, we just want to also promote some of the things that we've been working on. Lanes of Change, the first video
Hey,
is out on YouTube. I don't know if you guys got to get a chance to watch a little bit of the intro of Lanes of Change, but it's a short intro video that's going to talk about what we're putting out. Stay tuned because there's going to be some more videos coming out pretty much weekly on this idea of lanes of change. And don't be surprised if I don't hit you up. I'm going to hit you up and do some interviews with some folks that are in certain lanes so we can talk about what lane you're in and how we can build these elements of revolution. So
hey,
definitely check that out. YouTube, like and subscribe while you're over there as well. Also, a little later on the day, registration is going to open up for First Sky Omaha Fun Fest fundraiser and celebration. Is happening October 18th. It is invitations, and so we will send out those invitations, and then we will also send a link to folks beyond the invitation list in order for you guys to be able to get down and come through as well. This is a fundraiser, but basically, this is our attempt to get together all the alternative news groups, all the mainstream news groups, and just gather the news gang together and really talk about what we're out here fighting for as far as communication, strategic communication is concerned. So it's a time to get everybody all in the same room and
hey,
celebrate people that are doing things in the space.
news gang, news gang, news gang.
News gang going down. Fun Fest is happening October 18th. More information coming soon, and registration is going to open up today as well on that. So appreciate everybody who has inquired about that, and we'll give you some more information as it happens, as it goes on. So, yeah, again, lots to talk about. We'll definitely talk about what happened over the weekend I
Hey,
almost said Native Omaha Days, with the celebration of Bud's win and how it felt like Native Omaha Days out there on the Deuce. Shout out to Precious McKesson once again for everything that she's been doing and all the stuff that went down there. So lots coming up. Of course, our friends um over at the House of Afro Capes and Curls is doing the game night over at Idle Vital on the Cass Street uh, uh, store that she has over there, 7639 Cass Street. And it's going to happen on September 20th, 2 to 6 p.m. I'm so glad she's activating that space over there with Idle Vital. That's what's up. So yeah, game night, book night is happening. 10th anniversary book game night and book launch is going down. Shout out to House of Afro Capes and Curls, and shout out to Idle Vital for hosting this. Definitely put this on your calendars. Go check it out. You don't have to be a nerd to check it out. It's still fun. it still gets down. So yeah, I appreciate that very much. But yeah, just lots going on. I will tease a little bit of what happened at this Actively Black show.
man,
This is one of the things that went down. 87-year-old South Carolina civil rights legend Cecil Williams takes the runway at Actively Black New York Fashion Week showcase. This is the kind of stuff that happened, bro. We'll talk about Ruby Bridges on stage after that. And I'm also really going to put in this link to the show because you got to see it. It is on YouTube right now. Parts of the fashion show is on YouTube, and I highly suggest you watch this when you get a little moment to do so. They changed the game in a big way.
Man,
So shout out to them. And we'll talk about more that's coming up as well. Again, we're talking a little bit about this weekend being a weekend of a little bit of escape, some things that people have, we were able to celebrate because of some things, some wins over here in Omaha, Nebraska, but also some of the other wins, some of the other things that's going on, man. We talked about Emmys, we talked about New York Fashion Week, we talked about a few things that we kind of got into this weekend and break away from the from the heavy stuff, and you kind of need that sometimes. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. But before we get to that thread and some of those stories that we were talking about, I'm going to jump back into the chat real quick. Brooke Allen has given us a good morning. Appreciate you. Anthony Rogers Wright says there is greatness in our DNA. Actively Black,
hey,
talking about actively blacks. I'm trying to tell you, bro.
man, I got.
When you get into this, when you get into actively black, you're gonna trip. It's I can't even explain it. It's a clothing company, but it's a revolutionary organization in
Man,
a huge way,
man, I kind of want to get into it a little later on. If you know, I feel your passion. Let's talk
bro.
about it.
I just put it to you like this: they're even sourcing the materials for their clothing from black companies. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. Also, Kristen Payton is in the chat saying, "How about the North Central game?"
Visa.
People been saying it. Also, Arrows 402 says the video gave me Twilight Zone commercial vibes. Intriguing. Interesting. Okay. Marlon Harrison says, I
Twilight
saw
Zone.
that New York Fashion Week with all the black icons and loved it. You saw it. That's what's up. RG in the chat says, now that Streetcar Sally has been evicted from the paint, I think it's time to revisit the Bud statue talk. The man has earned that honor from the city.
Man, on that point, did y'all see the statue that Kasim posted?
No.
We might need to get that statue to Omaha. Check
Well,
this out.
there's a statue in a Bud somewhere.
This is a statue that apparently Netflix made.
Oh wow. Netflix went all in.
Bruh, check this out.
Where's your? Oh, you got it up here.
About to murder me for
Oh yeah, I did see this. This is in Vegas.
It was in Vegas. It looks like it was in the lobby of one of the hotels. These are all of Bud's accolades. Each glove is a fight. Got Bud standing on. Man, this is a tough statue right here.
We need that bronze. We need that. Man, what they doing with that? They leaving it in Vegas?
Yeah, look, they're gonna want a Canelo. Look.
Oh, I see what they did. Okay. I wonder if this is an actual bronze statue
Man,
because because it looked
that's
like a
tough.
promo for the fight, but that's that's super tough. We gotta get homeboy that did the Malcolm X bust and put one down.
Hey,
Yeah,
yeah. Man, shout out to Nathan. Nathan
man.
Murray. Yeah, gets
Nathan
down.
Murray's the dude. Linda Lethan gives us good morning. Good morning to you, First Sky fam. It is 7:19 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we haven't even got to the news yet.
Man,
We need to talk about here some headlines for what we call North Omaha headlines in big way. I'll let
yeah.
Buddy take it over and talk about that. What's going on today, buddy?
Yeah, man. Again, I like how you put that in. And the feeling for me, from my perspective over the weekend is it seems like North Omaha was kind of in the center of things, in the center, man, of the universe, man. So big shout out to North Omaha in a real way. Again, not only North High winning, my alma mater, shout out. But again, we'll be talking about that as well. Shout out to Marlon Harrison for sharing a story about that and how organizations are using things like rivalry games to give the youth some support, give the youth some love, man. So yeah, definitely be talking about that a little later on. But again, not just North High Vikings, but North 24th Street going off celebration as we've been talking about. But there's a couple things happening on North 24th we should talk about. Big shout out again to Preston Love Jr. for his visitor center. Shout out to Omaha World Herald, dropped an article about that, kind of talking about some of the activities, some of the things to expect with that. And kind of want to talk more about the energy of the Deuce, share some of those photos, and definitely hear from people who are down there over the weekend. But yeah, definitely some things changing as we've been talking about on the Deuce, and we'll continue to look at it. And again, this visitor center from Preston Love Jr. is definitely a part of that. But also on the other side of things, a little further down the Deuce, we got to talk about this fair deal situation. I don't know if you heard about that, but again, there was a attempted eviction of the Jackson brothers at the Jackson Cafe on 24th. Again, what's going on the Deuce? Development, growth, some hurdles. We're gonna be talking about it all again. Again, spaces and places. The Deuce is where it's at. Deuce and a quarter, man. So
Man.
big shout out again to Precious for bringing it life, but also the likes of Jackson Fairdale Cafe and brother Preston Love Jr. and Imani and all the business owners on the Deuce getting down as well. So definitely be talking about that. But also, man, Bud wasn't the only one fighting over the weekend. Big shout out to all the citizens that went down to this hearing. Again, shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney, who put out the call for the hearing. Again, we spoke to him last week. On Friday, we learned that Governor Penland wasn't going to make it to this hearing, but the people showed out. Even though the governor wasn't there, the people came out and spoke. And again, big shout out to a few chat chimers who are sharing that, speaking up. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Again, there's more happening throughout the weekend. Of course, if there's anything on your hearts and minds, definitely feel free to drop that into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Shout out to Sister Cheryl Weston, a friend of First Guy Omaha, sent us some things, kind of tipping the people off for some things to look out for throughout this week, as well as Paul mentioned earlier in the show. It is Monday, so again, kind of looking forward as we look back as well. Again, let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Chat is jumping. Paul B, what's the word?
Yeah, chat is jumping. Appreciate that. Yeah, we'll definitely jump into it. Anthony Rogers Wright was talking about something that just came up. He said, by the way, Big Grove on Saddle Creek, the best soft opening ever. Don't know nothing
Okay.
about Big Grove. Let us know.
Okay.
He said the food and the beer was free and the place was popping. That's what's up. Sounds good. Talking about things that happened over the weekend that let us have a little bit of escape. He said nothing new here. OEDC hasn't been coming correct for years. They are the Black Miss Leadership Class Bank. Talking about, yeah, we'll be discussing a little bit more about the Jackson Street, the Jackson Brothers fair deal eviction.
Yeah.
It was coming, they was coming while people was eating, bro. Throwing
Man,
tacos
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Raggedy.
Well, yeah. We'll have to get into it. But before we do, let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll come right back. I appreciate everybody that's joined us this morning again. Fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
It's happening right now. It is
Hey.
Monday, the 15th of September.
Already.
Man, already middle of the month. Share the show if you're on Facebook. It's pretty easy to do. Share the show on your page. If you're on YouTube, share the link and like and subscribe while you're over there as well. I really appreciate everybody doing so, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned for Sky Omaha in the morning.
Time to get my hustle on. Hustle till the break of dawn. Do whatever makes me strong. Worry about the right or wrong. Time to get my hustle on. Hustle till the break of dawn. Do whatever makes me strong. Worry about the right or wrong. Living in the HIC. Brothers all surrounding me. Ain't no futures here. Just lives full of pain and fear. Time for a different stroke. I'm tired always being.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beee, buddy to God.
Hey.
Man, all of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, appreciate you joining us. Shout out to Brent Crampton and the crew over there at the old House of Loom crew, man. They call themselves daydreamers these days. They had a day party yesterday. Went off. I was really impressed by what's going on with these day parties, and for different reasons. Like it's a different crowd. Back in the day, we used to really party hard at House of Loom, and it was all about the music. It was all about the dance and so on and so forth. And this is too. The cats got older, got married, had kids, and they're like, we still want to party. Let's make it during the day so we can all get up and go to work on Monday too. So they started throwing these day parties, and it caught some attention. Like people who are grown, got things to do, want to come out on a Sunday afternoon and kick it. It's on along the same lines. There's a legendary party out in LA called the Do Over, and they did this. They've been doing it since the early '90s. Same concept. You get together on Sunday kind of afternoon, 2 to 7, and get your party on, get home, get sleep, get the kids tucked in, get up for work the next day, but you still had a good time on a Sunday with your people. And that's what's going on here. And yesterday was pretty awesome. I actually ran into Senator Michaela Cavanaugh at the at the show.
Yeah.
By the way, we're gonna have her on the show here pretty soon too after that conversation. But yeah, she was there, and also Mary Ewing's wife was there as well, Viv Ewing in the house, and we were just like we've achieved partying with grown folks. It was a vibe, and of course, and also what was really impressive about it as well was some real authentic moments went down. Shout out to DJ Cathro, he was there too. He jumped on, man.
Hey.
Shout out to Riz, the DJ. She put it down, killed the game. And of course, Brent Crampton was on the ones and twos, and it was just a vibe. And every so often they would break in and talk about, we're in this time right now with all this division, and we're living under this rule, this situation that's happening here. They were actually speaking about the situation that we're in, and just reminding me of what we do. We're entertainers, we're musicians, we're people that are artists, and we kind of stop for a minute so we can talk about like some real issues and some things, and maybe use our art to kind of battle those things. And I'm watching these cats from House of Loom, the House of Loom crew, do the same thing. So shout out to Jay, shout out to Brent, shout out to everybody that was there. And if you don't know about it, you should definitely check it out. The Daydreamers gets down on Sundays once a
Yeah.
month.
I like that
So
name.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, most def.
Daydream.
We'll jump into it. Also, before we do, I see Kimra saying I forgot about the day party. I knew there was something I meant to go to yesterday, and I couldn't remember what that was. Yeah. Jay is on the board for One Omaha. Yeah, we was talking about that a little bit. Also, Anthony Rogers Wright says the hearing and testimonies were nice and all, but someone needs to file a lawsuit or isn't going to matter. Governor overstepped his authority, and only a judge can stop him. Appreciate you saying
Mm,
that.
man.
Maybe we can jump in right there and talk a little
Yeah,
bit about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Because Senator Terrell McKinney was posting about how proud he was about the turnout and everybody that showed up. People from all different backgrounds coming together saying, we do not want Cornhusker Clink. And it was a great thing. So there you go. Jay Hanna in the chat saying good morning. Good morning to you as well. What you
Hey.
thinking, buddy?
Yeah, starting right there. Also, shout out to RG in the chat. He says, I was surprised by the number of Nebraskans that showed up to that hearing, not just Omahans or Lincolnites, but Nebraskans. He said, made me smile as I watched. So, again, big shout out to all who showed up. And even if you couldn't show up, at least tuned in and again, witnessed what happened, because from what I'm hearing, Bud wasn't the only one fighting over the weekend. Again, big shout out to the people showing up and supporting this hearing that even the governor himself did not show up to, which apparently a few people were expecting to speak to the governor and address him directly, but yet and still they let their minds be free, and more importantly, as I always say, the voices be heard. Again, over 50 people testified at this hearing, which again talked about and examined the repurposing of what they're calling the quote unquote work ethic camp near McCook into an immigrant detention center. Again, was on the discussion table on Friday. The hearing, which was an urban affairs committee hearing, heard concerns from people all over the state about why the facility doesn't belong in Nebraska, even beyond what Senator McKinney himself is challenging as far as the building codes and some of the actual codes behind the facility being used. But again, many people went on to read Bible verses as their testimony. Some rallied outside the governor's mansion and state capitol early Friday morning. Again, shout out to Paul Philman, who led those efforts, another friend of First Guy Omaha. But also Senator McKinney, who again called the hearing, as Paul mentioned, was very happy about the situation, and says, I would rather them just show up and answer questions in front of the people. Again, kind of talking about the governor not showing up and undoubtedly Senator McKinney having to do more work to get the answers. Again, big shout out to the people voicing their opinions and voicing their concerns and letting their stance be known. But to Brother Anthony Rogers' right point, at some point in time, Pillin has to come to the front. Pillin has to answer for what he's done, or at least be addressed directly on the situation. So again, big shout out to everybody who put boots to the roots, who got active on that situation. But here we are a week later. Paul?
Yeah, just want to know, did anybody from the chat, anybody in the any ghost listeners go out to that? Let us know if you got any kind of firsthand information on that, and just how it was, what the vibe was, and what happened. I know we talked about it a lot. We talked about it with the crew. As a matter of fact, we sat around and watched a few moments of it, and yeah, I was very impressed by how many people from different backgrounds
Mm-hmm.
came through. That was what tripped me out. I still believe it's going down because like Anthony Rogers Wright says, unless something drastic like a lawsuit happens, it's an exercise. Sometimes it feels a little bit like an exercise in futility when you have people just are speaking up. Let your voice be heard is very, very important, but there got to be some action behind them voices as well. Unless, or you're just complaining to people that don't care about what you're complaining about in the first place.
Mm. Mm.
So I definitely am on this tip that as a matter of fact, like I talk enough on this show. I don't really do too much talking outside of this because it's time for some action outside of this. It's got to be. So that's kind of where I stand with it. I appreciate you, Anthony Rogers Wright, bringing that out. Some of the actions that could be taken as well. I know people are looking at the situation with it environmentally being a issue or the crowdedness being an
Mhm.
issue. We've seen them work around all those things. Tornado come and knock buildings down. They just pile people up on top of each other. We've
Man,
been overcrowded for years now. For
double bunking
years,
people.
double bunking people everywhere. So they'll work around all that mess. That can't be where the fight happens. It's got to be somewhere else. And it was illegal for him to do this, stepping around, the powers that be in order to make this thing happen in hopes to be on Trump's good side is what I believe is happening. So
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
yeah,
He's jumping on the bandwagon for sure. Kissing the ring, if you will. Just a quick tech update. A few people are saying you need our levels are off. Paul, I don't know if you're seeing that. Rhea Vincent says turn your mic up. Also pops in the chat says Paul, the volume level between you and Buddy is not balanced. Buddy's volume much louder. His level should come down a bit. So just making sure the stream and the live is enjoyable for everybody and you can get everything we're talking about. So yeah, just let us know how the sound is on your end, because
check
I hear
one
you,
two,
Paul. I hear
check
you.
one, check 1 2. Is that better? Let me know if that's better. Appreciate you guys. Brother Kasim in the chat saying peace, fellas. He says big ups and to the champ. Man, what a weekend! Wow, yeah, man.
Wow.
We
Yeah, man.
started off the show talking about the champ, bro. We saw you out there, man. I kept on posting stuff like there's the champ and there's the brother Q on the world stage.
Man.
Everywhere we turn, every channel we turn, I see y'all walking together. It's a trip. But yeah, man, and shout out to everybody that came out on the Deuce to party that night after the champ won too, man. We'll definitely get into a little bit later on. We don't want to circumvent too much, but yeah, on this topic, man, I really feel like I definitely feel like some action needs to be taken here. It's great that everybody showed up. It does show something when everybody shows up and voices their opinion on a thing. Not to mention, shout out to ACLU, who or actually Nebraska Appleseed that gathered
Mm.
all those signatures. One of the ladies from Nebraska Appleseed came with a stack of papers this thick. Let me see if I can put it this thick and threw it on the desk like here's the 18,000 plus signatures
Man.
from people that don't want this to happen. So yeah, it was powerful, man. It was if it was powerful enough for them to decide not to go for the administrative.
That part. And I do want to give love to, it's nice to see our family out there too, man. I just peeped that Guillermo Valadares is actually quoted in the article, man.
Bro,
we got to talk about what Guillermo had to say.
yes,
Because again, yes, it is going to come down to, checks and balances. We have to go through the courts at some point. But what people say, people's testimony, their testimony is a part of the court process. You know what I mean? Like that has some weight, hopefully, on what the judges decide, especially testimonies like what Brother Guillermo had to say, man. Replenish the vocalist in the chat saying proactive action is key for sure. And that is very much the energy, the sentiment shared by Brother Guillermo, again, longtime chat chimer, friend of First Sky, and boots to the roots, man. He says, I have to fight back. That was my immediate reaction. Again, quoted in the article, saying, not here. Later on, saying, I think he's afraid to see the true humanity, talking about Pillin not showing up. It says, and like I said in the testimony, the true agricultural hands that hold up his farm and everybody else in Nebraska, he's afraid to see our tears. And then he went on to read uh or excuse me, went on to say, now I fear my mother's broken English might be a problem. Kind of talking
Bro,
about what we talked about on Friday with the racial profiling situation, which undoubtedly will pick up in Nebraska, as you mentioned, Paul, with Governor Pillen just kissing the ring, man, trying to, kiss up to Trump and following, jumping on the bandwagon. So again,
brother Pena Valadares, I was very proud to see
goddamn,
that there was a chat chimer on there, emotionally giving this testimony and moving the crowd. They erupted in applause.
man,
Senator McKinney was like, "No applause, please, no applause." They were going off, and it was very powerful. We see the brother on the chat all the time, man, and we appreciate how he contributes. But that testimony, I highly suggest you go back and check that out. It is on YouTube. You can go and check out the whole meeting and see what everybody's talking about. Lynn in the chat said yes, over 18,000 signatures spanning over 400 Nebraska counties. Incredible. Replenish the vocalist. What's up? He says proactive action is key for sure. I'm on this. I'm on this. This is the key right here. This is the beginning. The meeting was the beginning of the proactive. Let your voice be heard. Let people know what you feel about this thing. Show up and show
man,
bodies in the room saying we don't want this.
man,
Also, the 18,000 signatures saying we don't want this from 400 Nebraska counties, which is crazy. I didn't even know Nebraska had 400 counties. You know what I'm saying? Like
mm-hmm,
when you recognize like how many counties are in this state and how far out Nebraska Appleseed had to go and get these signatures, and people all over the state are saying they don't want this. The clergy got together and decided there was 100 signatures from clergy that said we don't want this.
man,
But brother Anthony Rogers Wright is correct. Like there's got to be some actual legal action involved unless anything changes. And there's brother Valadares right there. We were just talking about you, man.
hey,
Brother Valadares. Let me tell you something. That testimony that you put,
powerful,
powerful testimony at that meeting the other day. I saw it and it got hyped. Almost jumped out of the chair, just like, yo, that's the chat chimer right there. That's
man,
up there getting busy. You know what I'm saying?
fam,
So really appreciate your testimony, and it was powerful. Like I was telling Buddy, that everybody was clapping after you got done because it was that powerful. So that's what's going on. Mark Manor said we only have 93 counties. Okay, we got some discrepancy on the county number here, but still a lot of counties, a lot of signatures, a lot of people that are municipalities. Okay, there you go. She may mean 400 municipalities. Uh, that's a lot of territory that we really be concentrating hyper locally on Omaha and
mm-hmm,
especially in East Omaha, and we got partners like Flat Rider Free Press that really kind of deal with like Greater Omaha and different counties in different parts of the state and so on. But when those things align, it's a real trip. You forget that even out on the outskirts of Omaha, there are people out here that are seeing that there's some things here that are kind of messed up. It ain't just the whole rest of the state that it goes along with things that our governor does sometimes. There's a lot of people out there that are not with it in a big way.
man.
So that's the thing we can take away from this and the meeting and everything that happened. We can take away from it that there's so many different groups of people that are in alignment with this thing of
Yeah.
not happening.
Again, going back to what RG said, he says, I was surprised by the number of Nebraskans. Again, not just Omahans, not just Lincolnites, the whole state showed up and showed out, man. So yeah, big shout out to everybody putting boots to the roots, man. As Paul mentioned earlier, we released the first intro video of our lanes of change, and that's definitely one of the lanes, man. Coalition building, also strategic communication, letting your voice be heard. So it's all about, man. Those are the things that create change.
There you go. There you go. Anthony Rogers Rice says colleges can't use race for admissions, but ICE can use race as probable cause. Wow. It's a trip.
Mm,
Also, he's saying not too reported this weekend, but props to the Interfaith Power and Light for their action on Saturday to call out OPPD's environmental racism.
I didn't hear
So
about that.
we've been talking a little bit about some of the clergy, some of the religious groups out here kind of chiming up on some things. And that's a couple times I've seen that this week. Brother Von Chapman in the chat is saying litigation, litigation, litigation. I ain't
Word,
heard seen your name for a while, and you come in saying the same thing you said before, which is always the truth.
man.
Litigation, litigation, litigation. Appreciate you, brother Chapman. Yeah, man, it's needed. It's needed. So now, like I said, first step done. Everybody's saying what they want. Second step, let's find out what else is happening. Let's hit the ACLU, see what they got to say. Some of the other lawyers that are in the game. Let's see what's going on with the
Man.
litigation part.
And keep applying that pressure on Pillin, man. Shout out to Paul Philman outside the crib.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. He's drawing people with him too. He always is showing pictures with people standing there with him, and he's the one that's also bringing up. Shout out to Paul Philman, not just for being active by standing out and protesting in front of the governor's mansion, but also reporting on some of the stuff. This is where we
Mm,
got we got the report that it was the 100 clergymen that signed the thing saying that they don't want this, and he was the one that kind of brought that out first. So he's gathering info while he's out there protesting, and that's news gang activity for real in a big way. So shout out to Paul Philman for doing the thing. It's what's up.
man. Actually, kind of moving along, man. 20 minutes left in the first hour. Speaking of news gang, shout out to Sister Cheryl Weston, who dropped some things on our radar. Again, more meetings to pull up to, man. She's pointing attention to tomorrow's city council meeting. She says there's some things going on as far as development to look out, especially in this season of Spaces and Places. A lot of things happening with Blight, a lot of things happening with TIFF, especially around this streetcar urban corridor changes. Again, big shout out to Sister Cheryl Weston, always using her platform to let the people know what's going on, let her voice be heard. So again, and you can actually maybe drop this in she sent us a YouTube video for anybody who wants to check it out. But again, she's ringing the alarm for tomorrow's city council meeting. So big shout out to Sister Cheryl Weston and our documenters who's been doing good work staying on top of the meetings and things like that. So again, big shout out to those of you who watched the hearing over the weekend. But as always, we can't make it to all the meetings. We can't watch everything. So we need the likes of Sister Cheryl Weston, the documenters, again, news gang out there doing the good work. So just wanted to put that tip out there. Again, she sent it to us over the weekend. You can check it out.
Did you put that in the
Yeah,
chat?
here I got you. I got you.
All right. I almost put that actively black one in there. I was like, man, we ain't ready for that yet.
Yeah, not yet. A second.
Replenish the vocalist says Paul always pulling up sipping tea in their hood talking about Paul Philman. That's what's up. He's always out there for real.
Yeah, applying that pressure.
Shout out to the allies that can do that kind of stuff, man. I always say it. I was looking real close at what Paul Philman is doing. First of all, let me put this in the chat for you to check out. Shout out to Cheryl Weston for dropping this on us.
News game.
But I always talk about that, man. Cats like Paul Philman, who obviously has the time to be out there 5 days a week in front of protesting at the governor's mansion. He's got the time and the resources. He's used that time and the resources to be an ally. Yeah, shout out to him. A lot of us can't do that, but he's the one out here organizing some things. So this is one of the people that I got on my list to have on the show is Paul Philman. I want to know his motivation for all of this.
Man,
he gives us so much information about what goes on in the prisons. I'm like, he's got some expertise in some areas, and he's always leading some of these protests, and he's always bringing some of the information. News gang. I get at least 2 or 3 texts from him every day on some stories. So Paul Philman is true news gang as well, and we need to dig in and find out about his motivations for real. Before we get to the next break, man, I just want to give a shout out to my sister, who is at school right now. This is what she got on the classroom board.
hey,
So First Sky Omaha, shout out to Buena Vista High School.
man.
High schools out in South, man. Yeah, shout out.
Okay, y'all watch it right now. Good morning.
Good morning. And we're in the art department too, so that's
okay.
very fitting for us as well. Yeah.
Hey, shout out to the art warriors out there.
There you go. The art soldiers in the big
Man,
way.
that's what it's about.
Man, shout out to all of you. I appreciate what's going on this morning on a Monday. I hope that you guys are feeling pretty good about what's happening on Monday. One more thing I forgot to mention too, Leia Keister was in the chat, and man, this tech is teching. Leia Keister's in the chat with the new podcast that's out this week.
Okay,
Swing Left Nebraska. If it ever wants to process, thank you. There it is. All right, this week on Swing Left Nebraska. Kishla Askins for Congress. Okay. Not familiar with her, so this is a way to get familiar. Wherever you get your podcast, get down with swingleftnebraska.com and get your podcast and check out what's going on this week on Swing Left. Very good podcast as well. They talk a lot about the legislature and our unicameral and what we learn a lot more about what's going on with our very unique unicameral that we have in this state by listening to Swing Left Nebraska. So shout out to the work that they're doing as well. And let's get to know who Kishla Askins is. I like that name.
Kishla Askins. Okay.
Yeah, some poetry in that name somewhere. We'll be. No, I'm not clowning. I'm for real about that. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul Beee, buddy to God. 7:45 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, if you got to be at work at 8, you better get moving.
Hey,
Be right back, y'all.
don't blame us.
Right near the beach. Welcome back.
Hey.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, buddy to God. I wish I was right near the beach right now.
Man, that's kind of crazy.
Why is that?
Because I was wishing I was in Omaha over the weekend.
True that. I appreciate that very much. Again, we need to definitely be talking about what happened over the weekend. Shout out to the champ, man, Bud Crawford.
Hey,
Yeah, undisputed
times 3.
This is history. History has been made here with this. This is something that the whole world is seeing. He's in some good company as far as record breaking is concerned in a big way, man. Undefeated, and and I had to learn what undisputed meant. We knew he was undefeated. I had to learn what undisputed meant. Undisputed means that you never lost a fight in all three of these. And for him, first of all, it's a big deal to never lose a fight in your category.
Period.
Second of all, it's crazy that he has changed categories 3 times, changed weight classes 3 times, and he's undisputed in all 3. It's history making. Nobody's done it.
Yeah, I mean, not to get too deep into sports, but boxing is one of those sports that you don't play. You know what I mean? Like you can play golf, you can play basketball, you can play football. You don't play boxing. You can lose your life in that ring. You know what I mean? It's a real thing. It's a real thing. So the fact that Bud went up against they have weight classes for a reason, like to go up and fight a bigger, stronger, younger fighter, and then to outclass him like that, man, I don't think people really like understand what the world just witnessed. Like this is generational boxing. The Sugar Ray Leonards, the Muhammad Ali's, the Mike Tysons, Floyd Mayweathers, the names. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he's right there.
Yeah,
he's right there. So shout out and a win for Bud that way is a win for Omaha,
man,
in a huge way. I definitely checked out what happened out there in Vegas, man. Everybody was out there. There was so many people, so many Omahans in Vegas. Captain Q said he was ready to see a sea of red out there,
man.
Just people, just populating. There was enough to make some noise. There was enough to make some real noise. But then everybody who didn't make it was here and celebrating here. Went down to the Deuce. Shout out to Precious McKesson. Was like calling for folks. Let's come down. Let's go down. We happy. Let's go down and celebrate. Man. And look at the Deuce, man. Looking like Native Omaha days again. 24th and Lake Historic District.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought, because it almost is like Omaha days. Because think about it. Why are people out there? To celebrate North Omaha, to celebrate a product of North Omaha, to celebrate North Omaha's own. And for me, being in Atlanta watching the fight, it wasn't just the Nebraskans that I saw on TV. It was everybody else.
Yeah.
Anybody who is a celebrity was at that fight.
Bruh.
Nebraskans been going to Bud's fight. Nebraskans been flooding Vegas for Bud's fight. We been knowing what it was. What this weekend meant was the world now knows that North Omaha's on the map.
Bro. When you saw Dave Chappelle jump up and dance around, he was like, Dave follows Bud, bro. Like,
yeah. And for me, like, it really is personal. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I moved to Florida to go to college, they tried to call me Nebraska. That was my name, Nebraska. I'm like, I'm not Like it didn't feel good to be called Nebraska. Almost felt like a slur. Like I was being low key called some farm boy.
Right. You were. It was. It definitely was.
Exactly. You know, the question of, is black people in Nebraska? Like, y'all exist? Little old, what's out there? It's nothing. Nebraska is nothing. That's the feeling. Yeah. No more. We have a champion, a world champion.
Yeah.
Undisputed. That means a lot.
It does. World stage. On the world stage. Huge deal. And we're talking about it today, even with everything that's going on, still in Palestine, still things that are happening around the country right now with the Charlie Kirk getting shot, and all the retaliation and the things that are out there. HBCUs getting shut down and all kinds of stuff in order to lock down in order to be safe because of threats of attacks and blowing them up. And all this crazy racial violence and things that are happening, political violence happening everywhere, all this stuff going down. And we going to talk about it because we're not going to let it just float out here as if it's not happening. But we're also going to talk about some of the good things that's going down too. And that's what this weekend was for me and a lot of people. It was a weekend of, we're going to escape this mess for at least a couple of days and celebrate Omaha, North Omaha in particular.
Yep.
With this win for the champ. Brother Pena in the chat says, I was conflicted. I love Cabello. Yeah, we were definitely feeling that. And I did too. You know, he's been a fighter for a while, so we knew who he was. He was kind of, you know, we had always had his back, still have his back, really, like as a fighter for a long time. But when he went up against Bud, it was like, okay, it's time for Bud to shine on this. But I gotta say, the sportsmanship, the level of sportsmanship, and the level of respect these brothers had is akin to me to the way, you know, it reminds me of like what we try to do with this show with everybody in town. We try to have the same kind of respect. The difference of opinion, you can even throw blows and still shake hands. This is a picture of the two fighters and the brother's daughter. And look at the joy on his face. Like, he knows his daughter's happy that she get to high five the champ, and this is why he got his arm around the champ. Just a proud moment for him to be in that ring. He was a very gracious cat that was like, I tried my best, I trained my hardest, I did what I was supposed to do. Bud was the better fighter, point blank, period. And I feel honored to be in the ring with him.
Man, I'm glad you made that point. Again, we're always on the same page. Read my mind. Like, you know, I know you're not a big, you know, you're into sports, but not a big sports guy. Yeah. I'm a big sports guy because, you know, the microcosm of life that is sports is important. And to your point, you know, to me, I always make connections. Everything is connected, if you ask me. And the imagery of these two men in a ring, in a sport where they could very literally take each other's lives, showing respect, showing sportsmanship, showing humanity in a time where we don't really see that, even on the political sphere, even on it, almost every level, social media, politics. Man, it seems like everybody is at each other's neck. But it doesn't have to be like that. You can still compete, you can still battle without hating each other.
Yeah. I mean, you know, when we started this, it was kind of a given. I didn't realize we had to state this all the time. I mean, that's the style of the show that we have because that's what we're trying to bring with the show. And it's interesting that we still got to state it sometimes, that, you know, that's what it is.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Also, what it is, kind of moving along, Aisha Connor in the chat says Nebraska produces greatness.
I missed that. Where'd you see that?
Yeah, right above my man RG talking about Angel Reese. We're not going. But yeah, again, Aisha Connor in the chat says Nebraska.
That was an iconic shot though.
Yeah.
Who is this? Oh.
Yeah, Angel Reese, man. Everybody, you know, everybody wants to, get next to greatness. That's what it's about. But it's not just Bud, man, to pivot in the conversation, but, you know, continue along the path of celebrating Omaha, North Omaha, talking about Preston Love Jr.'s Visitor Center, man. Because again, the world, North Omaha's on the map now. And now you got a place to visit. Come touch the soil. Come check us out for real. Come see what it's really about. Shout out to brother Preston Love Jr., who, man, I'm reading this Omaha World Herald article, and this brother Preston Love Jr. is a legend in his own right. Like, Shall I read down the resume really quickly?
Yeah.
Man,
Drop some knowledge.
former Cornhusker football player,
Yep.
IBM executive,
Mhm.
owner. I didn't know this. Owner of Atlanta's first computer store.
Didn't know that.
Not to mention director of Jesse Jackson's presidential campaign, former U.S. senator. I mean, of the legendary Love family, music royalty. I mean, it's. Should we keep going? Excuse me. I Shay. Apologize.
Yeah, man.
But yeah,
Yeah. I mean, that's what happens. You got an elder among us that has lived a long life and done a lot of stuff and been doing stuff for years. So I know for a fact, bro. As old as at my big age right now, I done forgot half the stuff that I did before and
man.
be amazing myself. Oh yeah, I did do that, and that kind of stuff all the time. So I can imagine somebody like Brother Preston Love, who's just he done more stuff. He done forgot more stuff than most of us have done.
Man, legend, and again, doing another legendary thing as far as bringing this visitor center to North Omaha. We kind of talked about the importance of it during the Native Omaha days, but again, while all eyes are on North Omaha on a global scale, again, have to revisit. And man, shout out to the Omaha World Herald for really breaking this down, man. I didn't quite know exactly how much Brother Preston Love Jr. was doing with this, starting with the coffee side of it. Of course, we're all into the coffee here. Of course, shout out to our partners over at Drunk Ship as Paul sips his drunk ship. And yeah, man, Brother Preston Love Jr. taking a page out of the book, man. Again, apparently looking at Ethiopia, sourcing through Ethiopia for some of his coffee beans that he wants to bring to the area. Again, he's decided to use a few roasters and all black owned, which keep that in mind. We'll be talking about that. Blackity black. Yes. So again, big
And
shout
wait
out.
a minute, what is Ethiopia?
Excuse me, the birthplace of coffee.
Shout out
Yes.
Drunk Ship teaching us that. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
man. Again, it's an African fruit indigenous to only to Africa, distant to where it ended up in the state it is in now. So again, shout out to you to the farms out in Ethiopia. Well, Drunk Shipping now, Brother Preston Love Jr.'s visitor center.
They've been talking about coffee shops on the Deuce for I don't know how long.
Yep.
And to the point where I was like, maybe I should open up a coffee shop on the Deuce because it's a real need for everything that's going on around there right now. And so shout out to him having that same he having the vision. He got this pulse on the area because the area has called for it for a long time. And when they announced the visitor center, I was like, that's gonna be dope. I hope they got some amenities and things in there that'll really draw some people there. I
Oh
think
yeah.
this will.
Oh yeah. And it's not just the coffee either, which to that point, he's not just serving, cups of Black Joe. Like he's gonna have high-end espresso makers, other equipment, signature drinks, and also food. Apparently sweet meats, which shout out to Chad Chimer and friend of First Sky Omaha, Rhea Vincent, who is the founder of this company, will also be served at the
Really?
visitor center. Sweet meats, yes.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, man. So again, this
Food.
man, this whole visitor center will feature not only black owned. Again, all things are sourced black owned, locally owned, but food, clothes, trinkets, man, collectibles, all of these things will be available at the visitor center on top of what Brother Preston Love has already been doing with his tours and everything. So big shout out to Brother Preston Love Jr. And just it's the time, man. Again, the world is looking at North Omaha, man. Omaha's on the map. We here.
There you go. I want to jump into the chat real quick. Vicky Young is in there giving us a good morning. Appreciate you coming through. I appreciate that very much. Also, RG was. Oh, we were talking about the break music. He said every time I hear the joint, I feel like I should be sipping on some Jamaican beer. That's right, right near the beach.
Red stripe.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Also, Anthony Rogers Wright mentioned a little earlier in the chat too. None of the CD2 candidates have a policy platform. That's troubling and disappointing. We definitely need to talk a little bit more about that as well. Also, Ariels 402 said Crawford's confidence superseded him having to act tough, which allowed for true sportsmanship. So,
Man.
yeah, the sportsmanship just wasn't on one side. It was also. I'm glad you brought that out because it's hard not to buck back on somebody who's all up in your face trying to be, not being humble in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So sportsmanship is a lie. It's not just gracefully accepting defeat. It's a whole bunch of things that made for sportsmanship on both their sides. So I appreciate you saying that for sure. Also, in the chat, I'm seeing Matt Rule was there as well. So that's what's that Huskers
Yep, yep,
um,
yep,
coach
yep. Apparently, he flew right after the game. Like,
spoke up.
man,
Anthony Rogers Rice said the band Tool even opened up for Bud. Even the heavy metal bands knows what's up. That's what's up, man. Tool opened up for Bud.
is that who that was? I didn't know who that was. That band.
I didn't see I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I missed the beginning. So Tool. So that's
Mm.
I got some people to talk to about that because that's incredible.
Okay,
That's
I don't
that's when the
know.
whole world's colliding in a big way for Tool to be opened up for Bud. That's crazy.
Really? Well, I don't know. All your worlds might have collided because I know there's the mariachi. I don't know if you saw that. Oh, too to Bud's walkout.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
quite peep what it was, but I did. It was a few videos kind of broken down after the fact that he was again honoring Mexican culture. The films Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Yeah, carrying the guitar case. If you've seen those films, it's a prop from those
Robert
films.
Rodriguez. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man. Yeah.
That's what's up. I didn't see it. I gotta go back and check it out. I didn't see all of it. I just saw clips. Mama Guy in the chat. Good morning. Says Bud was so cool about it, but he told them you can rate me whatever, class me whatever. It don't matter. He told them he's gonna bring in the belt home. That he's bringing the belt home. Say what? For real. Marla Harrison in the chat says when people say that Omaha is hiding Jim, a lot of other people still don't want to believe it, but that's okay. Omaha is still to me the best kept secret.
Mm.
Love that feeling. Love that
Yeah,
feeling.
man.
Kara Warner in the chat, good morning, says it felt good to celebrate after the week of mental and emotional fatigue. Thank you. So I love watching the fight from beginning to end.
Yeah, man.
This is the sentiment, the feeling, the definite feeling over the weekend. This is what we're talking about today. As a matter of fact, now in the second hour of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
8:02 if you believe in the concept of time, and what we've been
Hey.
talking about thus far is that exactly you're saying. Like I said, I always take roundabout. I take 15 minutes to say something that somebody comes in and says in one sentence. It felt good to celebrate after a week of mental and emotional fatigue. I loved watching the fight from beginning to end. I love the aftermath of the fight. I love the celebration that happened in North Omaha and in Vegas. I saw videos of people partying in Vegas too, showing up, showing out,
Yeah, man.
and also, but the most important thing was what happened during the Deuce. And to me, like the call from shout out to Precious McKesson once again, the call for her for her to make that call to come down to the Deuce, hang out. Precious was down there hanging out, and it felt like Native Omaha days down there in the big way.
Man.
And it went on till like 3-4 in the morning. They made a point to say she made a point to say no police presence necessary. Nothing popped off. It was just a celebration, and people had a great time. Cars, zooming by. Cars booming by. All the fresh cars was out. It was like a Native Omaha Day cruise session, whole nine.
Man.
So shout out to and then shout. I got to keep on giving her props because she when she said she partied till about 4 in the morning and got back up about 6:30 and went down there to make sure that the place was cleaned up for everybody who was going to church the next day. She wanted to make sure that they weren't walking into a scene with bottles and stuff like that all
Man.
over the place. Got up and went live and showed people that she was down there making it happen. So shout out to her for holding it down, man. It really felt like she was the mother of the neighborhood right there, just holding it down
There you
in
go.
a big way.
Precious McKesson.
Big time, man. Also, Roscoe Wallace in the chat. Good morning. He says, "Good morning, man. Omaha has so much greatness and so much more ahead of us, God willing." I love that. Appreciate that very
Yeah,
much.
man.
Also, Black Dynamite says, "I learned that Omaha Day has dad. His dad was the musical MD at Motown, which I did not know. Who you talking about? Buzz? Who's dad?
Or Preston Love Jr.
Oh, Preston Love Jr. Yeah, it could be Preston Love Jr. You're talking about. Yeah, that's what's up." Anthony Rogers Rice says Ethiopia does have the best coffee in the world. I can attest to that. That's right. A brother who's been there and tasted the coffee, the birthplace of coffee. That's what's up. We were just talking about you, Precious. Precious says, "Good morning, First Sky. Appreciate you taking care of the neighborhood like you did this weekend, and really kind of helping along the celebration that everybody felt like really needed to happen. Big way." Mark Manor said, "I used to go to Drips down there, and it was my fave. Something about that spot and gazing out the window. I forgot about that. This is where Preston Love's visitor center is going to be at, the same
Mhm.
building that was there. So now there's going to be coffee there again. I'm sure we definitely going to be showing up, showing out. I love it. Lots more in the chat. I don't. Oh, actually, not a lot more in the chat. I can go ahead and finish that out.
Yeah,
Mark
go
Murphy,
ahead.
yes. Members of Tool, yes. Members of Tool. Okay, cool. 2 members of Tool. Got it. Got it. Okay, so wasn't the whole band, but
Yeah, drummer and guitar player, RG
that's what's up,
says.
though, man. I mean, Black Dynamite says, well, I heard it last night, but it was Mexican Independence Day, so that's super cool to pay attention to that. It's all about the East Side Strong.
Yeah,
Okay.
man. Yeah, I mean,
Love that.
especially with all this ICE nonsense going on, man. Black and brown pride, man. They coming for all of us.
Hey, we got to solidify up for real, man. And the real, we're not outnumbers, and we're not out
Numbered.
numbered. We're out organized for
There you
real.
go.
Also, imagine no cops. That makes you say, for real, Black Dynamite. No need for the cops' presence. Roscoe Wall says, "You go, Precious." Yes, please get Precious her flowers for that.
Yeah,
That was
man.
amazing.
Saw the post she put out to Mayor Ewing. You know what I'm saying? Letting Mayor Ewing know we're gonna be out there on the Deuce. Just know. Send the message down. Ain't don't need you.
Big time. 8:06 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, and we're right in the middle of this conversation, talking about some of the things that are going on in North Omaha. That's North Omaha news in a big way. You guys have chimed up a lot about what happened with the Fair Deal Cafe situation.
Yeah. Speaking
We'll
of the
definitely
Deuce.
have to jump in. Yep. You want to get going on that, buddy?
Yeah, that is the other side of the thing, talking about the Deuce and activating that space. Again, this season here is spaces and places. And again, we're definitely paying attention on what's happening on the Deuce. And man, this is disheartening, disappointing, but we gotta address it. OEDC kind of
Well, let's just tell them the story first.
yeah, man. Again, shout out to Channel 7, or excuse me, Channel 3, Melissa Wright, doing the good reporting as she usually does. Yeah, man. Jackson Fair Deal Cafe, as we all know. Speaking of former Cornhuskers doing great things in the community, the Jackson brothers, who are also former Cornhuskers, own Jackson's Fair Deal Cafe. But apparently that was threatened, if you will, when OEDC tried to evict these brothers from their building, from their business, quite unceremoniously, man. Just in the middle of people having lunch, which is, yeah, you can kind of share your thoughts on that one. But again, questions are growing about how millions in North Omaha development funds are being used. And now, again, one of the few successful businesses, Jackson Fair Deal Cafe, being nearly evicted. Again, Antoine Jackson, who is one of the brothers, recalled the situation, saying he was just kicking my customers out and changing the locks at the same time. He says he was bewildered. It was unbelievable to think that didn't even have the respect even for the customers to finish it out and then do whatever it is that they thought they needed to do. Again, that's according to Jackson, who says the situation stems from what he says has been a lengthy legal battle between him and his landlord, OEDC. An attorney assisting Jackson in the case did confirm the eviction order wasn't final. So again, the eviction did not go through. That means in this case, the eviction again was not valid. Jackson ultimately got his keys back, and the restaurant is now back open. Again, Justin Wayne, shout out to brother Weathermain Wayne, Justin Wayne, who not only is a former senator, but attorney and representing in this case. He says this case highlights an improper use of Nebraska's detainer statutes and the court system. We urge Omaha Economic Development Corporation, i.e. OEDC, to be a true partner in the North Omaha community and not a bully, which, if I'm speaking from my own personal observations and, what I've seen, it's kind of been some of that. This is not the first Black-owned business that has been evicted from an OEDC property.
This has been going on here for a few years that we've been reporting on this stuff, and it does come up. I think I reached out once to see if somebody from OEDC can come speak. I don't know. I don't know what happened with that interaction. I don't think we got a call back. I still would like to do that. I still would like to speak to somebody there, specifically Brother Maroney. I see him. I see him out and about all the time, and we say hello. I've had a few meetings with him over the years on some other things, the showcase building and so on and so forth, and just try to really understand the strategy. I mean, this is a development company, and they are in the business of real estate, development, and so on. But we have heard from the community on some other things about the way that they structure their rent, where they started at one price and then raise it Also, there hasn't been a whole lot of talk about selling a whole lot of the spots that OEDC owns. Again, I hesitate to talk more about what's going on until we can do what we do, which is try to go to the source. And I want to speak to. I would love for Brother Maroney to come on the show, or he didn't have to come on live. Like we can record a interview off site. But I definitely think it's definitely something to talk about. This is one of those things that's going to be. We've heard about this happening a lot. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why Culture House is moved to where Culture House is right now is because they were in an OEDC building and something went down and they left. Um, and again, I don't want to give a bunch of details until we can ask some people to speak on it. But we've heard about this before, but this one in particular, I think, and maybe it's because of Melissa Wright's news gang activity with this one, it's a little bit more out in the open here. What's happening because people got questions. People want to
Man.
know, like, why were they going to get evicted? What's going on? What's the problem? I mean, you're only going to evict somebody if they're not paying rent. Are they not paying rent? What's the details here? We need to kind of find out what's going on. But the fact that they tried to do that and then can't, and then what ended up happening? They didn't have the right to evict them, or
Yeah,
that
the
brings
eviction
us
wasn't
back.
valid. It wasn't valid.
And why
Yeah.
wasn't it valid? I mean, I have a question about what was invalid about that. Why wasn't it valid? Why did they try and why did they think they could in the first place, and then it turned out to be invalid? Like I got questions on this because in the end it's cut and dry. You pay rent to a person that owns the building. If you don't pay rent, they evict you. What's beyond that? So so I really want to know why it turned out to be invalid. Number one,
Mhm.
and number two, we're quick. We're going to be quick to go. This happens a lot with OEDC. Based on a lot of things he said, and it's true. I'm not taking nothing away from that. What former Senator Wayne just had to say about being a bully, all the stories that we've heard, so on and so forth. It's easy for us to go, this is par for the course, but without looking at the situation individually, we should look at this individual situation and figure out what's going on here to get the facts there, because that informs whether or not you feel like this is a pattern of bullying or whatever. So RG saying bully and overseer. I mean, we can jump to that. Precious McKesson in the chat saying this is real bad. Sorry this happened to Jackson's. Love to know. She says the community deserved the celebration without interruption. Oh, talking about the celebration real quick
Mhm.
shows when you communicate with the community in a positive way, it's received well. We can do this so much more. Really appreciate you so much
Yep.
for letting us be able to do that in on the Deuce that way. Wanda Lewis says, and it had nothing to do with the occupants paying the rent on time because they've been doing that. Okay, so this is what we're hearing. Um, RG says, why did they even act if the order was invalid? Anthony Rogers Rice says, so why are we letting OEDC anywhere near the Inland Port Authority business district again? That's all right. I think that's a done deal. I think they got the contract there.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, Tony Johnson says, they're not trying to address anything in public ever. People good at ignoring requests for communication in interviews. I haven't been all the way completely diligently calling and trying to get an interview. I will now, but I put out I do I that's what I put out a call and be like, yo, we'd love to have you on the show. We got a few things to talk about. And if I don't hear back, I don't be over there trying to pull nobody's coat. Like, you know, you can have this opportunity to come and speak to the people if you want to on a platform that's going to show you some respect and have an actual positive an actual productive
Conversation.
conversation,
Yeah.
right? And if you don't want to do that, then that's cool. But I will reach out again because like we would actually really love to know that. I mean, there's still a lot of properties that OEDC owns on the
Mhm.
Deuce. We're here as of last year, as of the changes that's happened over at Union for Contemporary Art in particular. Our attitudes and stuff has shifted about the Deuce, about this area, and everything that's happened since then has reinforced that. The beautiful Native Omaha days that we just had, even just the celebration the other night over Bud Crawford's win, me feeling like that's EGOT corner because of everything that's going on. Us realigning with Noma. As the 2 years ago we was calling it, Mama called it first Loves Jazz. I'm gonna call it Loves Jazz. Now
Yeah.
we're down with what Noma's doing. Um, So there's so many things that's going on that corner, and you know, Preston Love with this new visitor center and coffee shop. Ivy Black Girl, whose headquarters is there now. There's so much going on in that area. Jackson, the Jackson's brothers, the Fairdale Cafe is a necessity. There's not a lot of food in the area at all. That place is more of a necessity than ever. And there's more buildings around there that OEDC owns. As a matter of fact, the visitor center that Preston Love just jumped into, I don't know if he bought that from OEDC, but I know they owned it, which is the reason why Drips and stuff left.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to know if this is a pattern. We need to know what the situation is. We need to know, because if we want that place to thrive and there's more buildings on that block that they own, you know, what's the problem? What's the problem here?
It's my question. It's my question. I appreciate your skepticism. I'm a little more worried. I don't even know if worried is the right word, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not really to the point of giving OEDC the benefit of the doubt anymore. I would give them the benefit of speaking their piece, you know, and you know, saying what it is that they need to say and being heard out. But from what I'm seeing, you know, I try to judge people off the fruit that it bears. I mean, that's just you can't. And what fruit has it bear?
Okay, here's another angle of this thing as well. Everybody who has a lot to say about OEDC is also very mad at the Sherwood Foundation. They feel like Susie Buffett is buying up all of North Omaha. The only black owned spots that are pretty much purchased, there's a few other ones, but the major source of black owned buildings in the area are OEDC. And I've heard him say one of the reasons why he's done this is to keep them in the community. He's black. He's owning these buildings. He's not just going to let them go to other outside sources. We're also mad at these outside sources that come in and buy up the neighborhood as
Agreed.
well.
Agreed.
Now, then after, you know, great, so he's got them. So now what does he do with them? Is he going to sell them to other black owned businesses? Is he going to, you know, not really? Not in the business of selling too many properties. Seems like he's in the business of renting those properties out. Why is everybody having such a hard time renting? Here's Wanda Lewis in the chat saying, not saying that this is one of the reasons. However, sometimes when grants are awarded, owners of buildings often think they're entitled to some grants that are awarded to the business itself. I have seen some businesses get some grant money and then, you know, not, and then when the grant money's up, business is over. They haven't gotten to the point of sustainability yet. And, you know, there's got to be some other reasons why people are leaving rather than just OEDC is kicking people out. I mean, I'm not discounting that there might be some problematic situation going on here, but I am saying we got to find out exactly what happened in the instance in
Mm-hmm.
these
Mm-hmm.
instances we're talking about, because it could be people couldn't afford to rent. It could be they signed something where they said it clearly showed that the rent was going to break. He was, you know, giving them a deal to get in there, and then the rent gonna get raised on you, and you got to be able to sustain to do that. It is hard to run a business on the Deuce.
It is. It is.
So
But to that point, Tony Johnson in the chat says black owned does not give pass for bad business and community work, and I agree. Just because you're black owned, you still gotta, you know, don't use your black card to exploit your own community. That just it's counterproductive.
right.
But to that point, Jackson's Fair Deal has been open. Like it's a successful business. Like, why are you? I understand if somebody's not giving good service, struggling, you know, that business that makes sense. But Culture House is still Culture House. Why did they have to move? He's obviously finding success. Jackson's Fair Deal is finding success. 95.7 The Boss finding success.
95.7 The Boss moved out of the OEDC building. He had a situation, and one day we came up and there was an eviction notice on 95.7 The Boss's window that was right there on 24th, and then, you know, William King moved.
So again, my question is, I understand, you know, a brother owning buildings, wanting people to get in them and wanting those businesses to be sustainable and, you know, wanting good business. I understand that. But when there are cases when businesses look like they're going good and they still get their feet swept from under them, I got
I mean,
questions.
yes, I got questions too, and like I say, my questions are, what are the details of those circumstances? Because it's going to be all over the place. They ain't
Mhm.
just being like, well, we're tired of you being in this building, we're going to go ahead and evict you.
Right.
Or it ain't. Sometimes it's people ain't paid the rent. I mean, it we need to find out what the details are on each individual situation. And also, it's important for some of the reasons why Anthony Rogers Wright is bringing up too. We're not just talking about businesses on the Deuce and other buildings that OEDC owns. OEDC is overseeing millions of dollars of the people's money that this needs to be addressed. They are not trusted partners. Okay, he might feel like they're not trusted partners. They've gotten accounts to do some of these big jobs. They've been trusted partners. What are some of the other stuff that they've been doing? I'm looking at some of these retirement facilities right now, and seeing what's going on with them. And some of them are built by OEDC, and some of them are successful. I mean, has anybody done a deep dive? Well, where's Leo Adam Biggers? Deep dive, deep dive article on OEDC and everything they've done over the years. Because there's a lot. They've done a lot to get to the point where they can handle the Inland Port Authority, construction stuff. That you got to be a pretty huge company to be taking on this type of thing. And they've been partnering with the city, partnering with the Sherwood Foundation, other places, and overseeing, and even over, like you say, and even overseeing the people's money on some of these projects here. So what's the deal? Now we do have people like former Senator Justin Wayne has had some things to say about OEDC. We've seen meetings where they've gone up head to head with OEDC on some things. Those times that OEDC did show up to some of those meetings, especially when people were feeling like they were going to get their homes taken away from this Port Authority situation. So, we've seen some things, and we don't have. I don't feel like we have comprehensive reporting on this quite yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like at this point, I have questions. I have more questions than answers, which you can take from that what you want.
There you go. Anthony Rogers right. Let's get them on the show. If they refuse to come on the show, we know what we need to know. RG says, I've avoided looking into buying some commercial property in our neck of the woods because I refuse to deal with OEDC and the draconian business tactics. Mark Manor said Drips had all kinds of problems with the landlord of that building. So this is somebody from the outside that used to go to Drips, didn't know much about Mike Maroney and them. They're saying, he's probably talked to Trey, probably talked to the people at Drips, and it was like they got problems with the landlord. If you remember, Michelle Trosclair, our own Michelle Trosclair, had an office in that Drips building before, and pretty much her and some other people that were there got pushed out of that building. It got given to Drips for a minute, and then Drips had a problem and then bounced.
Yeah, I mean, I just
Wanda Lewis says Mike Maroney is preparing to retire. Mike Robinson will be stepping up to fill that position. Good to know. That lets you know that Mike doesn't own those buildings. He's just the face that's on someone's payroll. Interesting, Wanda Lewis.
that is an interesting point.
Von Chapman says, given the number of black businesses that have left because of McPhony's questionable business practices should be questioned. Boy, we good at giving some names around here. Tony Johnson says, any we see their board members like Brenda Council being vocal about other things, but not OEDC. And also Wanda Lewis says Alvin Goodwin initially had that when they first organized. Then Mike Maroney was placed in that position. We're going to have to learn more. See what I'm saying? We need a comprehensive deep dive on on what's going on with ODC and not and everything they've done in the structure and everything else. They're so hugely a part of this community that we kind of really need to know, because they were also the ones that was responsible for what's going on in Union for Contemporary Art. We have that beautiful space now because of what OEDC's contribution. Like it's going to be just like everything else. They've done some real good stuff. They've done some questionable stuff. They had some problems with some people. Other people are cool. I'm thinking about the showcase. That woman, obviously, the woman who's renting the showcase all this time is obviously has a great relationship with him because they're just continuing to do business. They're continuing to be open. There hasn't been no turnaround with her for you. And there's people asking for that building. There's people in my last name Allen that's been trying to talk to the showcase. So, when I personally talked to him about the showcase, he's like, "Well, she's paying the rent. I'm not going to kick her out. What you want to do?" So, I love that. I love that we have now set this is a new beat. This is a new this is a new thread that's going to be something that continues to be talked about, and it needed to be. We've been talking about this for years, and it needed to be something that we need to dive into as well. So, so we'll be looking into that. There's going to be another mission there, I believe, along with I'm kind of leaning towards this. The more stuff I write for Benevolent, I'm leaning towards this anyway because we got to talk about Sherwood and being in North Omaha and who Sherwood partners up with. So OEDC is kind of coming up
Yeah.
anyway in developing this whole benevolent illusion stuff. So we'll see.
And to Sister Wanda Lewis's point, next season is follow the money.
Kara Warner says, we questioned OEDC years ago when Fairdale Cafe was taken over by the Justice family. Some of us were told, be quiet.
Again, it's the Fruity Bears, man. Like, I'll just say this, and this is kind of my piece on it, man. OEDC has too much influence, owns too much property, and we don't, and it's too quiet for the amount of influence and property that they own. Like, we didn't even know if it was a for-profit or non-profit. Like, we know nothing about it, and they own your family's building. Like, this is,
I mean, my family sold it, but I hear what you're saying.
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Here's where I'm at. When you said we just don't know enough. I wouldn't have any other inclination to dive too much into any development companies or any business in general if it didn't directly affect the neighborhood and directly affect our community as much as it does. So since it does, I would absolutely love to learn more about it, and I would absolutely love to come with to come at it in the way that we come at it, like try to not come at it with a lot of biases, I guess, and just kind of be like, let's hear about it all. We always come with this whole situation that is there's some black and there's some white, there's some gray, there's some everything in between. There's some good stuff that has to do with what is being done. There's some bad stuff because as soon as you said they own so much and they got so much going on, I go, well, if they didn't, who would? Who would be in the hood right now buying up everything some of it wasn't owned by OEDC? You know what I'm saying? Like, where would we be at there? Where would we be at if it wasn't that the case? I want to ask that question too. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Things may could be better with how things are right now. But if they pulled out of everything, if they weren't here, they didn't exist. How would things be then? I just want to say, I just want to know. So we'll see. President McKesson said, "I'm happy they finally tore down the building that was attached to the IB Black Girl building." We talked about this renaissance of the Deuce. How would that be happening if OEDC didn't exist? I already know that Union for Contemporary Art wouldn't be there. I can tell you that much. I believe that they own that building that the IB Black Girls in right now, and Impressive McKesson saying there's some stuff going on there that is progress. You know, we can talk about how we feel about it, and I love that we do that. I love that we have this chat to be able to talk about how we feel because it all starts with intuition in the first place. We get a little bit of information here and there. We're in the community a little bit, and we know about some things, and we kind of say, okay, yeah, something's up. I got questions, and that's where it starts. And the next thing is what you've taught me all this time too, with you being a journalist. Let's get to the who, what, where, why, and what about it, and get the facts and figure out what's really going on, so we can really have an informed decision on how we feel about something. Because that how we feel about something is going to directly connect to what action we take about it or not. So I'm very, very interested. I think this is absolutely something that we need to head up. Is doing a deep dive, uh, uh, journalistic endeavor to really understand what's going on here. Bring them on the show if we can. Do some research, paper trail. Put Matt Wynn on the data digging, all the stuff, so we can figure out what's actually happening.
There
That's
you
what
go.
I'm saying. RG says might be different if OEDC wasn't already acting like an outside entity. Juan Chavez says OEDC is nothing more than black vulture capitalist group taking advantage of the black community. RG says straight paternalism. Don't be using my word because you're gonna set me off. You're gonna set me off. Wanda Lewis says, I'm going to be quiet about the tear down on that building, but I doubt they pulled any environmental permits. Ooh, asbestos and other hazard before the demolition is required. So even practices, practices for on these buildings is something that needs to be looked into. I'm sure that they don't want the scrutiny of the community looking at every move they make on some stuff, but are they too far into the community to not have some scrutiny? Gotta have some. Anthony Rogers Price says OEDC is not a black institution. It may have black mid leadership, but it's not a black institution. We generating more questions than answers right now on this.
I mean, they're gonna that's the unfortunate part about it though. Like the deeper we dig, the more questions we have. And that's, as a journalist, that's a concern. That's a concern. Especially for somebody who has so much influence and so much power and so much. What are y'all doing? Really?
I feel that. We'll take a quick break. It's 8:30 if you believe in the concept of time. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beee, buddy to God, getting more questions than answers. But it is what it is. We'll be right back, y'all. Stay tuned. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beee, buddy to God.
Hey
man, you woke? Are you awake yet? I'm still kind of like half asleep a little bit.
I'm a little foggy brain, man. I'll be honest, man. Another late night session, man, in the studio till like session didn't end till midnight. I had to clean the studio, so I was in there till like 2, didn't get home till 3. The life.
Got up at 6. Yeah. I feel you, man. It's definitely like that. But I'll tell you one of the things that really kind of gets me going on, especially on a Monday morning, is when we all get together and have these discussions and we fire it up.
Word.
There's things we want to look into this week. And also, we spent this show, really the majority of this show, really celebrating what happened over the weekend. We actually got a mental break, like Kara Warner was saying a little earlier. Like, I knew I was going to come back and I haven't heard it yet. I'm surprised, but I thought I was going to come back and hear some of the chat chimers be like, "This is all a distraction." This is all a distraction for everything that's going on. I'm like, yeah. Sometimes I feel like sometimes you need to be distracted a little bit. Take a couple of days, especially when there's something to celebrate. I'm all about celebrations. I don't know if you guys know this about me. I'm about celebrations.
Celebration.
I get that from my Uncle Bruce. We celebrate. If I buy a new microphone in here, we said we having a celebration that night, new equipment celebration. If we have a good day, I might be like, let's go out to dinner. We having a good celebration time.
Celebration.
So when something like legendary, history making, Omaha on the map, something happened like Bud Crawford, undisputed 3 weight class, wins a seriously important fight that some people were pretty worried about, and just comes with it. It was time to celebrate, and we can put all that Charlie Kirk stuff and everything else aside. It was time to celebrate this weekend for North Omaha in a big way. And shout out to everybody who was a part of that celebration. Shout out to everybody who came out. Shout out to everybody who kept it clean and classy, like Precious was saying. Shout out to Precious for making the call in the first place. Shout out to Precious for partying until 4 in the morning, getting up at 6 and go back and clean up.
Getting down.
Representing. And shout out to you. She did some news gang stuff as far as I'm concerned too. She was out there reporting. She had the camera out. She was going live. She was letting us know what was happening on the Deuce at the time. We can see real time what was going on. So I highly suggest you go to her page and check out some of the posts that she made about what happened. Some of the live. She went live on the Deuce, having a good old time out there, and it was great to see.
Man, I'm gonna flip it on you.
Flip it on me.
I'm gonna flip it on you because you're saying you're calling the fighting this weekend that we had the distraction. I would call the Charlie Kirk situation a distraction. Let's just call it what it is. Nobody got helped by him dying. The only thing the Charlie Kirk situation did was further the white supremacist agenda and embolden white supremacists. That's all it did. That's all it did.
You ain't lying.
That's all that situation did. But what the Bud fight did for me was, one, to remind us that we got some fighting to do. Two, to remind us to do the fighting with dignity, respect, class,
and sportsmanship.
And furthermore, my last point as we get out of here, the last about 20 minutes of the show, this is something that Mary Ewing actually brought up when we spoke to him. It spurred hope. The fight spurred hope. Two individuals in this situation that I'm thinking of in particular. Bud Crawford and his lead of security, Kasim Shabazz.
Bro.
Let's talk about where these brothers came from. Do I need to go into it? Bud Crawford, both from North Omaha, both escaping the grips of gang violence, poverty, both making decisions that could have landed them somewhere else, dead or in jail. But they found something and followed it to its fullest extent, and now they're on top of the world. This is something for the youth, man. The fact that one of the world's greatest, most productive gyms is right in North Omaha.
Bro, B&B Boxing, shout out.
Shout out to my cousin Bo. It's about our youth and us having a champion to point like, you don't got to be a thug. Hey, express some of that anger in the ring. Get some of that frustration and what you feeling out in a productive way. Don't be who they say you are. Point in case, the situation at the shout out to Brother Sherman Wells, man. Let me go ahead and get into it. You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, absolutely.
The situation, where is this? Scary Acres. If you haven't heard about this, this is a post from Brother Sherman Wells, another news gang member. And this is on Friends of. He says, I just got a call about 10 young men that got denied entry to Scary Acres because 2 Omaha police officers at the door, because one of the young men was wearing a memorial pendant for Cameron Ford, who, let me remind you, was killed by the Omaha police. So again, this young man, wearing a piece of jewelry commemorating a lost one. They don't know if he's a relative. They don't know what the relation is. They just know somebody they killed was getting memorialized and they didn't like it. So what happened? They called it gang apparel. And even after the young man said, hey, okay, I will take the pendant off, according to Brother Sherman, the officers still said no entry. The officers even spoke to the owner of Scary Acres, and these young men were still not allowed to come in. So, not arguing, not being boisterous, not being aggressive, these are young men trying to go to a haunted house or whatever Scary Acres is. But we're thugs. We can't have fun. We can't go anywhere. We can't do anything because we're all thugs.
These are the thugs.
So that's just infuriating, man. Shout out to Brother Sherman Wells for sharing that story, because that's what we're up against. So when I see the likes of Brother Kasim, when I see the likes of Brother Bud on the world stage showing, even in a brutal sport like boxing, class, a high level of class, he gave the man his belts back. He won those belts fair and square. He earned those belts.
Man.
Gave him his belts back. A high level of class being displayed by somebody who the world, even Bud, still gets the treatment. Treated like a thug.
Yeah.
A hoodlum.
In his hometown. Precious. She said, "What's the next plan of action? This is some BS, straight up." Shout
Scary
out
Acres.
again, Sherman, man. Breaking news from the news gang. Sherman Wells is letting us know what happened because
Man,
this ain't nothing the mainstream media
nah,
was talking about at all.
nah, but we gonna elevate it. We gonna talk about it, and we're gonna bring people to the front.
She also said Bud's entire coaching staff and team have a story. Hope y'all can highlight this one day. Absolutely will. You're right, brother Bud, brother Kasim on the world stage. B&B boxing. When you think about that, you think about that kind of. We down the street. You can send your kid over to B&B, and you're right there with with the champ. Uh, champs.
Champs. Shakur Stevenson might be there. You never know what world class boxer might walk in, or celebrity. Wiz Khalifa goes there to train. Like you don't like. Let's not underestimate the amount of access and hope and vision that this is bringing to the community. Just the sheer possibility. Like I don't know about y'all, but I grew up in North Omaha feeling like nothing good will come out of North Omaha. It's a flyover state. Y'all poor. That's how I felt about my community. A child doesn't develop those thoughts on his own.
Yeah, I could attest to that myself. I grew up. My family was here, but I grew up in California. I would come every summer to see the grandparents, and every summer I had this. I definitely had this feeling like I'm from California. I don't know what y'all doing out here, and it was ingrained from youth. And the
Yeah.
only reason why I found it easy to change that viewpoint was because I did have family here, and I was in loved and was close to my family and got to learn that. But going back to California, it was what you going to Nebraska for? You going where? Ohio? No, Omaha.
Man, people still you from Oklahoma, ain't you?
Anything with an O.
No, I'm from North
Turn it up.
Omaha, birthplace of Malcolm X and Bud Crawford. We whoop feet by any means necessary.
Straight up.
Period. So I'm wearing my Nebraska gear. I'm proud, and to kind of wrap this up, my point on the youth. I want to give a shout out not to Scary Acres. Scary Acres is canceled, but for those who are actually honoring the youth, actually trying to love the youth. Again, big shout out to brother Marlon Harrison for sharing this story. Uh, uh, in addition to Bud winning the championship, my alma mater apparently North High won its big rivalry game over the weekend. But it's not more so about the game, but this organization Code Z, who attended the game and used the game as an opportunity to promote violence prevention, to show some love to the kids, and to honor our babies. Again, it was Code Z is actually founded by Chrome Lewis, again brother of Leo Lewis, man, powerhouse in their own rights. He says it's important that they see us here too, supporting the school, supporting the youth. And when they see us in these shirts and they see my crew, it kind of helps with the violence prevention efforts. Central versus North has always been a rivalry, even from 25 years ago when I was in high school. I think we dig in, we're hard. So I think it's just the rivalry. But again, bigger than being from here and just for violence. We don't anticipate there being violence. However, we are there to help out if there is. But we just want to be that face. We want to let the people know that they have support from the community, man. So that's
Yeah.
my point. That's my point, man. Let's celebrate each other. Let's honor each other. Let's love each other.
There you
We all
go.
we got. That's
All we
enough.
got, and that's enough. Linda in the chat says Scary Acres is canceled. We spend so much money there every year. Let them have it, Linda. Get them. Karen Warner says something similar happened at a high school football game. A parent posted about how her daughter was refused entry to the game, and the issue escalated to a physical exchange. I'm not sure of all the
Mm,
specifics, but the mother of the young lady is asking for community support to hold police officers accountable. Hit us up on that for real, for real. We definitely need to know about that. Also, Biko Kwan's in the chat. Good morning. Says we need a
hey,
statue put up in Omaha of Bud Crawford's full length statue. Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier.
yeah, man.
Yeah, that's really real. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate all your comments on that. Yeah, this is definitely let us know because like you said, we're in the fight, and this is what you're reminded by what happened this weekend is that we still got to fight, and we still have to fight to make sure that people aren't mistreating, especially the kids,
Man.
especially the kids. Yeah, rough stuff. It is 8:44 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we appreciate everybody that's come in and talked about it. Highly encourage you to stay tuned for the rest of the show. We got a couple little videos and things we want to definitely play and leave with a positive feeling and a positive note. And Precious McKesson says
Yeah,
all of our youth wants to be heard, loved, and be seen and respected for real. We just had
man.
Brother
That's what it's
Roscoe
about.
Wallace on just recently. You can definitely check his interview out on YouTube if you missed it. He was saying that he talks right to the kids. The kids are saying we know we're not heard. They're not hearing us. We don't feel like they're hearing us. And anybody who is working directly with the kids, Brother Kasim, Brother Sherman, everybody who's out here boost to the roots with the kids say the same thing. Kids want to be heard, want to be accounted. And so we definitely need to hear more about that. Karen Moore says, I will pin the details and share the parents post. Appreciate that. Yeah, we show up for the kids. So with the parents, family support, show up with the family. For the kids, don't let the kids get mistreated by anybody. When you see kids get mistreated and their family ain't around, say something. It's the community. Got to. We got to do it. I'm gonna take a
Man.
quick break, and when I do, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna go ahead and play the first video from Lanes of Change. I want people to be able to see it right here exclusively on the show because I want you to go to YouTube and I want you to be able to check it out on YouTube, like and subscribe over there, and hit that bell so that when the new ones come, there you go. This is what we're working with these days, y'all. Exclusive right here, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Check it out.
In the morning. Change can feel elusive and sometimes outright impossible. But in the words of American poet Alice Walker, the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. The answers to the noise don't lie in the words of any politician or the pocketbook of any billionaire. The answers lie in the voice of the people who understand the Bantu philosophy of Ubuntu. I am because we are. Media, politics, finances, organizing, art, all of these lanes together can cut through the noise just like the North Freeway cuts through North Omaha. This is Lanes of Change.
Two things that I think for me would provide tangible results: decreasing poverty and increasing hope. I think there really can be measured side by side.
We spoke to newly appointed Mayor John Ewing and many others who have found their lane and some inventive ways to make change. Starting with our conversation with Mayor Ewing, we will explore what we call the 7 lanes of change. 7 areas where everyday people can be the change they want to see: strategic communication, political power, cultural placemaking, economic power, grassroots action, coalition building, and artistic resistance. Together, these lanes can lead us to a more equitable future. Welcome to the Lanes of Change. What's your lane?
Yo,
Yeah, the tech helps you
say
out.
again.
The tech didn't tech too bad on that one.
I'm glad to hear it. Oh man. All right. Yeah, there you go. There's your intro for Lanes to Change. We're gonna be talking about. Definitely check that out. Give it a like on YouTube if you would, so we can build that algorithm up. Also, like and subscribe over there, and stay tuned. As you can see, we got many more videos to come on this particular subject, and I will be hitting some of you up to talk about how you occupy some of these lanes, so we can get some of this revolution going on in a big way with bringing them together. Bringing them together. I love it. I
Yeah,
love
man.
it. Appreciate it.
What's
I
about?
appreciate that. Thank you. Wanda Lewis Precious says this is dope. I appreciate you very much. Stan and O from Black Dynamite. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
Love it. I love it. I appreciate that very much. Please be looking out
yeah,
for that. We got more to come and a lot more happening as well. If you ever want to help us with the things that we're working on over here, you can always become a member of the channel as well. Go to firstsky.omaha.com, hit the join button and become a member of the channel, and that'll help us to keep on bringing some of the news. You know, we're doing news dissemination as well. Also, it keeps this show going, so we can keep having discussions with you, and it also does the deep dives we're talking about. Man, we talking about lanes of change right now. We might be talking about OEDC next. We
man.
got to dive because if we don't, who will? So I appreciate you guys' support on that, and I just wanted to show that little teaser on that very much. So also, man, I gotta say, oh, thanks, RG, appreciate you, man.
Hey, hey,
We working, bro. We working, trust me, day and night on some of this stuff here. Yeah, Pop says cold blooded. Can't wait to see the whole thing. Thanks, Pops. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yes, we will continue to talk about some of these things too. You guys have inspired us. You guys are the people that are in these lanes making this change, and doing this
man,
show has got me is what got us forming these thoughts about like what this is. We see it from our advantage, our perspective all the time. Like we see this all the time. We see Brother Kasim over here at the BAA. We see what Willie Barney is doing over here in Empowerment Network. We see that there's sometimes clashes in styles, but we also see that everybody's in their lane, and we see how these lanes work together. From this viewpoint, it seems to me like this the reason why we're cutting through and making any change at all is because everybody's in their lane working together, and that's what this is all about. And we're gonna highlight that because just like we are talking right now about Bud Crawford winning and what how this is putting Omaha on, just like that, greatness is coming out of Omaha. Greatness has always been coming out of Omaha,
man,
and not just in sports, in politics, in economics, in community building, coalition building in a big way. Man, I think about Kimmer Snipes. I think about Precious McKesson. I think about you guys starting from the neighborhood associations. I mean, there's a lot. We can go on and on about it, but we'll piece it out, and we'll definitely come back and talk about this more and more too. If you got any ideas, you can always hit us up at firstsky.omaha@gmail. Let us know your idea. We want to definitely hear from you. Everything we build is because we're inspired by the work that you are doing, man. We got the best chat in the world. We got chat people in the chat that are
man,
boots to the roots doing this stuff in a real way. So I love it. Precious in the chat says, when I was walking on the Deuce, I was stopping and talking to them and just asked them when they left to put their trash in the trash cans for me. They were so respectful. It's the approach and delivery of your tone. Really appreciate that
oh
very
yeah,
much so. And even after you did that, you didn't get mad at them. You came out the next day and came up and cleaned up the stuff that when people didn't throw everything away. And I just love the love that you have for the community. It's just awesome to see, and it's great. It's just to me, watching what Precious does is as great as seeing Bud fight.
man,
That's real, and Kimra too. Kimra and Precious especially. I can name other people, but them two especially. I really feel like you guys have all of you in it, all the love, all the passion, all the energy, all the diligence, and really it all comes from the love.
man,
You can watch how Precious moves and show and sees that she loves the community. And what kind of feeling you get from that? Same kind of feeling you get from your mama loving your family. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? So appreciate you. Skilo Simpson, keep building. You right on, bro. Appreciate you very much. For sure, for sure.
man. Peace, peace. Tony Johnson asking about the metaphor. He says, when is the intersection of using metaphor of lanes of change? There's definitely a lot of intersectionality, especially think of people like Sherman Wells. People don't just occupy one lane, and we'll definitely be exploring how these lanes can work together. We kind of already talked about it here on the show as far as the connection between strategic communication and love warriorship. You know what I mean? Love supreme, two different sides of communication, but still trying to communicate an ideal, a feeling to the
Sherman
public.
Wells used his blinker often.
Man. I mean, man, grass action, grassroots coalition building, strategic communication with sermons with Sherman. Yeah,
Big time, big
gets
time.
down.
We got about 6 minutes left in the show, and again, we really appreciate everybody that's coming through. I want to leave you with something else too, man. I talked to you about, I teased you about a little earlier today. Actively Black is my favorite
Man,
clothing company ever, and I highly encourage you to dig into them in a big way. Is because they do stuff like this. Now we talked about some things that took our mind off of what's going on, off of the mainstream news, what's in the world this weekend. It was a little bit of an escape for us. There was a few things that happened, of course. Bud Crawford making history and us celebrating that for sure. Also, I heard a lot of people talking about the Emmy wins. There was a lot of black folks that won some Emmys and a lot of good shows that won Emmys as well. For those of you that are TV watchers, Emmys is starting to be more important than the Oscars in a lot of ways because of what's going on TV these days. So shout out to them. Stephen Corbell won a award as well and did a Prince quote at the end of it, which was dope. So yeah, there was a lot that happened, but also New York Fashion Week happened, and New York Fashion Week don't happen no more without a black presence, and a huge one. And Actively Black, these cats right here, did something. I got 3 or 4 people that hit me up like, wait till you see what they did with Ruby Bridges. Uh, I put it in the chat earlier. I highly encourage you go back and watch this presentation. But this is the kind of stuff that was going down in New York. Let me see if I can get it. This
Man, I mean, it's kind of crazy to say Ruby Bridge is still alive. Like, you think about the history and what she went through. Like,
big,
it was yesterday.
time, bro.
That was
Check this out
yesterday.
real quick. Let's see if I can get this.
The most iconic thing happened at Actively Black Fashion Show at New York Fashion Week. Let's get into it. This is not a drill. As you see this picture right here, yes, this is him, and baby, he is never scared. They played that song as he was coming down the stage, and he showed out. Walked off with a hoodie on. Don't play with him. They also had the one and only Ruby Bridges. Yeah, I mean, this is legendary. Let's keep going. Ben Hath, who created the banner in 1997. Yes, this is the man who created the Juneteenth flag. Tommy Smith and John Carlos. I mean, come on. Yes, they held their fist up during the 1968 Olympics. I mean, what a sight to see. Then we have Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X's daughter, Miss Bernice King, and Miss Ayaja Sabash. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I mean, where was this at? I would have took a flight for this. Y'all, the people showed out. They showed out. This is the best thing that happened during New York Fashion Week, hands down. Woo, what y'all think about this? And make sure y'all follow that YouTube Dark Skin Queen 2.0. Yes, I'm gonna catch y'all up.
I'm gonna give her a shout out just for being on
Shameless.
News Gang herself like that.
Shameless plug, for sure. Yeah, man, that was dope. I definitely seen clips, and kind of going back to what we were talking about on Friday. I had a few people reach out to me about my 60-year theory. The fact that every 60 years is a national revolution, things are happening, and just to show these cycles happen very quickly. These people are still around, and we're still dealing with the same stuff. Man, shout out to Actively Black, man. Definitely dope situation. And for that to go down during New York Fashion Week, like that's huge.
Mama God
That's huge.
saying what I'm saying too. She said, Actively Black has a dope cotton apparel line sourced by black owned cotton farmers. Bro, we talk about black owned businesses and what we can do about that, and it's always relegated to somebody else that's got something that we need for it. And even when it comes to that, you got a t-shirt company, you got to source your t-shirts from China and all these other places that make them. Actively Black found a black owned cotton farm still functioning, bought cotton from them, and built their shirts around that. And that's how far into it they're going. So again, I'll put it in the chat again for you guys to check out. I absolutely think that you should take the time to watch this presentation from them. And this is it gives me so much. It really gives me so much to see that you can be a successful company out here doing this. It reminds me of kind of the Tyler Perry theory. Like, Tyler Perry decided he was going to build his thing around black folks. He didn't care what anybody else had to say or think about it. And he knew his audience. His audience was showing up and showing out and selling out every play that he was doing in the beginning. And he said, "Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna stick with that." And sometimes we question a lot of his art and a lot of his writing just because we're artists and we're gonna scrutinize. But he knows his audience. He writes for his audience, and he don't care about who else who else is down with it. And that idea right there is Toni Morrison for me. Toni Morrison writes from
Man,
a black perspective. She doesn't care about the white gaze, GAZE. She doesn't care about white folks peeping us out, looking at anything that we got to do. She don't want to look through it through a white lens. She wants to write through a black lens only. And there's room for that out here in a big way. So there you go. I appreciate everybody that that was bearing with me through that, and that you got. I hope that we left you with some things to think about and left you with some more inspiration. If you needed any more after this weekend,
man, man. Crawford boy.
Crawford, boom, by hey, for real, for real. It's 9 o'clock right now, and we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, buddy. What you thinking? You got words for the people?
Yeah, really quickly, I do appreciate a few comments before we get out of here. Brother Tony Johnson, going back, he says, people doing own things simultaneously with others doing own thing is only beneficial if there was major intersections like unified strategic plan with which community lacks. I definitely agree with you, brother, which is, really the point of why we're doing this project is one, to point out the lane. So in hopes that people can identify like, hey, I'm either in that lane or that is a lane that I can be in. I can see myself in the future. And then hopefully by identifying those, there can be, some realization of intersectionality, cross section, and where people, within the respective lanes can ultimately work together. So I agree. I appreciate that point. Also, brother Rick Fulton in the chat earlier kind of reminding me and echoing something I mentioned earlier. Again, shout out to Sister Cheryl Weston, kind of tipping us off about the city council meeting that's going down tomorrow. Rick Fulton in the chat says tomorrow the Omaha City Council will approve a $750,000 judgment against the city because Omaha Police Department fired Ms. Gonzalez for no reason other than Stothard said to. Why is Schmatter still chief, and why did Mayor Ewing keep the guy? I mean, that's, whether neither here nor there, but definitely if you want to show up, show out, have your voices be heard. City Council meeting. Again, let's stay on top of these official meetings. And beyond that, man, I appreciate everybody tuning in. We thank you. We love you. Catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul. Hey, there you go. I know you're in the chat. I know you're in the chat. But other than that, man, yeah, man, I love y'all. Love the community, man. I love the support. Hopefully, we'll continue to get that support. In the meantime, between time, Paul Beee.
Right on, Tony
Take
Johnson
it away,
asking any North Omaha stores distributing their clothes. Any North Omaha stores?
Styles of Evolution.
I don't think Styles
the
is
floors.
kind of a young thing there, but we'll check it out. And like I said, we're gonna support regardless. Also, RG says, speaking of Art, BZ, you an artist, so you know the deal. You put the word paternalism into the universe, so it belongs to the community now. Yeah, I'm just saying, don't use it back against me is what I'm saying. You say paternalism, I'm like, yeah. Now I'm mad. I got parents. I don't need. Also, Black Diamond says, for all that go on during New York Fashion Week means that the entire world had eyes on it. That's what I'm saying. Big time, bro. Big time. Skibo Slim said, today's degree asks, who are the 10%? Great show, fellas. Peace. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you very much. Very much. I appreciate everybody that joined us today and got busy. Thank you so much. Shout out to everybody that came in early and stayed with us through the whole show. If you missed any parts of this show, you can go back and check it out on Facebook and YouTube. Definitely check out the chat when you do, because we got the best chat and the best chat chimers in the world, and they bring some really great information, great conversation. And also they post in Friends of First Sky Omaha, our group page on Facebook. When this is not live, that's where the conversation happens. So I highly suggest you continue to go over there and do that as well. You'll be checking out more on the website, firstsky.omaha.com. Of course, you can go over there and join if you want to be a member of the channel to support the channel as well. And there's going to be some more information that we're putting on there as well, especially information coming up on the registration for the First Sky Omaha Fun Fest, our inaugural fundraiser and celebration is happening on October the 18th, Saturday. Save the date. We're starting to send out invites for this today. So this will be coming up. Save the date for October 18th, and be checking your inbox for some of those things. If you already have given your email address to us, then definitely check that out. Check out your inbox for an invite for the First Sky Omaha Fun Fest. It's going to be at the Omaha Press Club on October 18th. Definitely check out for that. And like we said, we went ahead and gave you the exclusive Lanes of Change intro that we got on YouTube over there. If you like that, please go to YouTube and check it out over there and like it so we can get those likes over there. And also like and subscribe and get ready for more of these to drop about this as well. Love what Tony Johnson had to say about that too. Yes, let's identify the lanes first and then figure out how we can intersect everything and bring them
Man.
together. That's what this is all about. We'll continue to talk about these things in the future. Like I said, if you have any ideas on any of these subjects or any reporting to do, we consider all of you citizen journalists as well. So let us know when you have information. You can throw it at email it to us at firstskyOmaha@gmail.com, and we'll be taking in a lot of suggestions and stuff there. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Appreciate everybody that joined us. See us Wednesday. We have special guests coming on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. And we'll talk about that more on Wednesday. In the meantime, between time, shout out to the Omaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. We appreciate all of your contributions all the time. Can't do this without you. Like Buddy says, we're all we got, and it's enough. With that, shout out to the champ, Bud Crawford, making history.
Hey.
History, bro. History. Also, we haven't talked about this. We'll talk about this on Wednesday, but there's some more history that was made over the weekend, too. Clips performing at the Vatican was history making. History making, bro. And John Legend at the Vatican.
Yeah. Also, did you see the Gorillas? They were live too.
25 years ago, their hit came out. Yeah. Lots happened over the weekend, bro. I want to talk a little bit more about the Emmys. Right now, I feel like the Emmys is getting ready to be more important than the Oscars because of what's going on in television. The revolution in TV is way heavier than what's going on in movies right now in a big way. So the Emmy wins. Yeah, we'll talk about it. And that and more as we continue our conversations with you, the community. We are First Sky Omaha in the morning. I am
in
Paul
the morning.
B. He is Buddy the Gawd. We'll see you on Wednesday. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad, with the key.
By any